Welcome everyone to the Ace Capone Show. I am your host, Ace Capone. Sorry, I had a little technical issue there. If you like the show, hit the bell down below. Hit the subscribe button. Also, I'm on Rumble and Truth Social. If you like the show, you want to donate, it's at PayPal at AMX122 at PayPal.com. All that information is down below in the link. But getting started, I want to talk about this nonsense that's going on in California. I'm sure you've heard about it. It's about this reparations panel. Basically, you put the fox in the hen house and you're asking him what he wants. You don't ask idiots who want to be victims what they want. This panel of 9 people in the city of Oakland. Come on now. Can you set this up any better? And you already know what's going to happen. You have these delusional people who are still living back in the 70s with their black power structure asking for money that they don't deserve. People who are in a free country are asking for free money that they did not earn. So they're sitting here telling you that they're victims, even though they're free to do what they want. And you have to foot the bill for them to live. $1.2 million. That's on a scale, though, depending on how long you've been in California. And this panel, which convened 2 years ago. Funny how it was 2 years ago this panel was convened. And all this stuff matters because 2 years ago, what happened? We had an election. And this panel is going to recommend that blacks get an apology and compensation for slavery or for generations of harm caused by discriminatory policies. California, if they didn't know, it was a free state. It didn't have slavery. You had people from the South that moved, that migrated to California, but California's a free state. So why is California apologizing for slavery or discrimination? It was the law of the land. It was something that people who lived in those days actually flourished. Black people under segregation were the most successful. Black people who are free without any discrimination are beggars, victims, crybabies, effeminate, totally useless. This panel is saying, oh yeah, we need $1.2 million. But they opened it up to the audience, to the public. And people came up and you had people saying, no, we want $10 million. If you give these people any money, you'll never hear the end of it. Because if you were saying that, okay, we were wrong, I don't know who we would be, because none of the people who owned slaves are alive today. And none of the slaves are alive today. None of the people who lived under Jim Crow are filing a lawsuit for any damages that they suffered. You just have people generations later saying, oh yeah, I need some money. But what they're doing is that they had this committee convened 2 years ago, right after the election, just to prime you. And now they're going to come up close to another election. And they're going to say, oh, well, if you vote for us, we'll work on getting that money to you. Dangling the carrot in front of the idiots. They know black people aren't politically savvy. And you're picking on the most inept social, political, and financial group in the country. Black people are at the bottom of the bottom. You can have an illegal immigrant jump over the border. In about 4 to 5 years, that guy is going to outperform black people. His kids may not, but he will. Instead of begging for money, Why aren't these people concerned about the high crime in black communities? Instead of begging for money, why aren't they concerned about the low test scores that black children are producing? They're not even competing in education. You think money's going to help you? Money's not going to make you smarter. You have these people out here supposed to be representing the people, and they're making the people look bad. The people are being sold out to these idiots who only care about themselves. Money is not going to help anybody because you're not even competent financially. What are you going to do with money? If you gave everybody black $1.2 million, what are they going to do? They're going to waste it. They're going to buy cars, maybe buy a house. Buy a house in California, that 1.2 is not going to go far. They're going to be begging for more. And if they buy the house, they're not going to be able to afford the taxes on it, so they're going to lose the house. It's a waste of time for people who have done nothing with their freedom. If you were functioning and productive, and you said, oh, yeah, if you were like, let's say it like this. If you were like the natives, you have a peace treaty. You said, hey, man, you violated that treaty. And, our people have suffered because of that breach of contract that we had with the government. Then, we can convene and say, hey, you know what? This is what we need to make us whole. There's no contract with black people because after slavery, the newly freed Africans didn't want anything. They didn't ask for anything. The 40 acres and a mule they keep bringing up, yeah, it was a thought. But the slave owners got their land back. They weren't going to give you any land. The Democrats said, no, we're not going to give them any land. The same people that are dangling the carrots are the same people that fought to keep you enslaved. The same people that are talking about reparations. Well, you know what? Maybe the Democrat Party should pay black people because they're the ones that enslaved black people. They're ones that passed legislation that basically discriminated against black people. And Joe Biden himself, the man that they love, that they gave all of their votes to, was the same man that brought up the crime bill, the same man that opposed busing, the same Klanman that is in office today is part of the same group that has kept and terrorized black people. So why aren't they asking Joe Biden for the money? Why aren't they asking all the Democrats for the money? Because ignorant people don't know who their friends are. Enslaved, brainwashed people don't know who their enemy is. They're all in bed with their enemy, and they're yelling white supremacy. Instead of yelling white supremacy, why don't you say Democrats? Instead of saying racism, why don't you just say Democrat? Because those are the people you're really talking about. And they always run around saying, oh, both parties are bad. No, you're just dumb. It's not both parties. It's the party you vow your allegiance to. The people that run every black community. There are no Republicans running black communities because you don't vote Republican. You don't talk to Republicans. So it's confusing to me when I hear black people say, oh, yeah, the Republicans. You've never voted Republican. You don't live under Republican rule. Well, we got Republican governors. Well, you live in a Democrat-run city. The state is something else. But the people that govern your broken down, crime-ridden, poorly educated community, those are Democrats. You don't want to acknowledge the facts, but those are Democrats, the ones you love, the ones you vote in every time, and then you say the system is bad. The system is corrupt. Oh, the system isn't doing anything for us. Well, the system isn't going to do anything for you because you're not doing anything for yourself. You cast votes for people you know nothing about. You run out here talking about people you know nothing about. You're out here begging for money you don't deserve for a condition you never lived under. and you've never suffered. You run around talking about mass incarceration when you commit the crime. You talk about police brutality when you're resisting arrest or shooting at cops. It's like to be black, you have to live in bizarro world. And I'm black, and I have to acknowledge the fact. And the fact that blacks are not able to acknowledge that fact makes them even more delusional. And you'll never fix the problem if you never acknowledge the problem. It's like an addict. If you don't understand you're an addict and you don't admit that you're an addict and you say, hey, you know what? The first step to getting better is to admit I have a problem. And if you look at the black community where the crime is high, the illiteracy rate is high, school scores are terrible, unemployment is high, bastard children high, effeminate men high, emotional men out of control, and the lack of motivation to improve your condition is high. If you're not a rapper or an athlete, they don't know what to do. They don't want to be anything else because they've been brainwashed by the Democrats and their media. But yet and still they're running around telling everyone that, oh, everyone is responsible to pay us reparations because we are somehow feeling the effects of 400 years ago. Man, that's like a bad girlfriend. Remember 10 years ago when you hurt my feelings when you said that? No, I don't, and I don't care. And if you can't get over it, we got to break up because I'm tired of hearing your nonsense. And I also blame whites because the white males are cowards. They're not standing up to say, hey, I didn't do anything to you, and I'm not going to listen to your crap. Hey, my family doesn't owe you anything because we didn't own anybody. Matter of fact, we are poor right now. So I don't want to hear your crap about being a victim. I'm a victim. I'm a victim of society because people like you are begging for money they don't deserve and my taxes are going up. People like you are sitting here getting lower interest rates on homes while mine is going up. Because you're not capable of functioning in a society that is free. So I blame white people. They're not calling these people out. They sit there and they pacify them. Oh, you're a victim. Instead of saying, hey, you're not a victim. We work in the same facilities. We drive on the same streets. God forbid you live in the same neighborhood because they'll probably rob you. But the simple fact of the matter is, whites need to stand up and tell these victimized blacks to shut up and sit down. And until that happens, you're going to continually hear this whining. You're going to continually hear weirdos jump up talking about being transgender and homosexual and all this other nonsense. Men need to stand up to tell these people to cut it out. Our society cannot tolerate any more of this nonsense. It's time for it to stop, or we will lose our republic. We don't live in a democracy. And these Democrats keep repeating this lie because they understand people repeat what they hear. And if you're constantly saying we live in a democracy, it's okay to violate your rights. Because if the majority says they don't like it, you think, oh, it's okay to stop it. You're not going to violate our rights because the people are going to stand up and say, no, this is a republic, you idiot. Maybe you should have stayed awake in political science. This is a republic. And the founders didn't like, nor did they want democracy. And the fact that Republicans sit here and listen to these idiots say democracy over and over again says they're part of the problem too. And we as Americans need to hold these idiots responsible because we're suffering for it. And until we do, It's going to continue. But what do I know? Let me know what you think in the comments. Also, if you want, you can shoot me an email at acecaponersc@gmail.com. That's acecaponersc@gmail.com. Until next time, this is Ace Capone signing off. Peace. And I'm gone.